First, you start with a gigantic mess of craft supplies. And then I took one of the styrofoam pumpkins and took the toothpick stem green, not realistic, out and just put a stick in, and that I just got out of my yard, and it made it look a little more, I guess, natural, as much as a fake styrofoam pumpkin can look. And then I took the scarf that I had also bought from the Dollar Tree and wrapped it around the pumpkin. Now this project was a pain in the you-know-what. Putting a straight object around a round object was just not fun. This was about my third or fourth attempt. I had already done the first pumpkin and kind of had an idea of how to best do it. So what I did, I started by putting the scarf around the top where the stem was of the pumpkin, and then just went around the pumpkin and kind of made the, I guess, pleats around the pumpkin, kind of make it give a dimension more so than just, completely wrapped around and straight. I would do little overlapping little layers, and then I would go around the bottom of the pumpkin to secure it a little bit better with the hot glue. And I mean, in the end, it didn't have the exact look that I was going for, but it did okay. But I did, again, like I said, the layered, you can tell in the dimensions of the pumpkin. And then I secured the end of the two pieces of scarf together and make sure everything fit over the bottom, and then just cut off the excess, and then secured that bottom part with more hot glue. There was a lot of hot glue in this project. I went through several sticks. And now I am taking some ribbon that I had previously purchased a few years ago, or several years ago actually, and just made a bow to go on top of the pumpkin. This was about $1 or maybe 50 cents a piece. It was also a Dollar Tree once upon a time. And then I took jute string, wrapped it around there to kind of give it a little, I guess, touch to it. And it took quite a bit to make this bow for some reason. I was just spreading it out here at this point. Now I don't know if you will be able to find this ribbon anywhere else, because like I said, it was several years ago. I used to make little bows for my oldest daughter, when she was first born. She didn't have a lot of hair, so I went with the little bows. And then I am making a jute string bow to go on top of it to get, again, that little final touch. And all in all, I think it looks fairly cute after I attach the bow to the top of the pumpkin. And here I am taking the, I guess, the fatter glassware and painting it orange for a pumpkin. Now this is some paint that I had again also purchased, I think from either Walmart or the Dollar Tree, to paint our pumpkins one year rather than carving them. Now this paint is not for glassware, so it was a little streaky, obviously, and I let it dry over the mini coats that I put on this and just painted over top of each other so it would get a little bit thicker. Again, with the multiple layers, you can see by now it is getting a little bit thicker and a little less streaky. I do believe this was just acrylic paint, so again, not made for glassware. And here I am taking a little bit of red paint to try to make the dimensions of the pumpkin, kind of mix it in. It came out a little not to my liking, so I ended up just basically wiping it off. And you know, with that, you wipe it off, it wipes off all layers of paint. So I went back in with the orange to try to fix it, and it worked. I was able to fix my mistake. And I am taking again another little green that I had from the previous year of painting and made the stem of the glassware the stem of the pumpkin. And set that aside to dry. And now I am on to my second glassware. I will be making this one a witch's cauldron, which my oldest had suggested. She's pretty crafty on that. And this paint, again, is not glassware paint, but it is more of a chalkboard paint. It didn't say chalkboard, it is acrylic, regular, just craft paint. And it is a lot thicker than the orange, so it didn't take as many coats, and it dries in a matte finish. Now I'm going on to my third and making a ghost, and again this paint, it was a little bit thicker than the orange paint, so it went on a little bit easier than the on this third piece of glass rather than the pumpkin. This one is going to be a ghost because of the shape. It was a little bit cute. And I decided to go up a little bit higher on the stem with the ghost. I guess it needed a little pointed head. So now I am taking the candles, some of the candles that I had bought from the Dollar Tree as well, and wrapping this candy corn ribbon that I had purchased again a few years ago. And it is, make sure that you do have it lined up, because I did have to remove this a time or two to kind of make sure that it was straight, because it is wide at the top and narrow at the bottom. And then just secure it at the end, cut the excess off. And I ended up not thinking that was enough, so I added a giant ribbon with the candy corn to give it a little bit more dimension. And I thought the end result was a little bit cuter, but again, the ribbons apparently take a lot more than I really thought to make. And I was trying to, on this, see what little ribbon that I felt went best with it, and ended up being the Boo ribbon as well. And the other candle that I had purchased, I'm trying to see, I bought a ton of this Halloween ribbon many years ago when I was making the bows, and I decided I was going to go with the polka dotted one. It didn't need a huge ribbon, not a lot of color, so I just did the top and the bottom. Again, the top is wider than the bottom, so just make sure that they line up. I mean, obviously you don't have to do the ribbon. You can just put the glass candles on top of the stems of the glasses and it's fine, but I just wanted a little bit more pizzazz to it to show the Halloween season. The bottom was a little bit more difficult than the top ribbon because it did get smaller, and I think I got a little crooked here and there somewhere. So I, like I said, ended up having to take the bottom one off a little bit to make sure it was straight. all this footage was about 3 hours of work, so I had to go through 3 hours of footage to put this video together. I stayed in my dining room for a very long time, but it was nice. I was in my own little zone. It was fun. I like crafting. And hot glue and paint are all over my hand from this day. It's not completely straight, but it was doable. Pulling off all of the hot string webs. And again, of course, I need a bow. So I'm going to pizzazz it up a little bit with a little bow of the same matching ribbon and hide the seams. I cut off a little bit of the ribbon to make it match up or line up with the dots because it's me. So I'm going back in and painting the pumpkin face with the same black that I had the cauldron. And this is the mouth of the pumpkin. I didn't know what to do. I didn't have a template out. I should have, because I ended up not liking what I am doing here. Couldn't get the mouth straight. It had no teeth. It was just not pleasing. So I will go back to that later. Now I am doing another coat on the witch's cauldron just to make sure that it is there are no streaks in it. And same with the white ghost. It was both the white and the black were a thicker paint and went on the glass way better. And back to the pumpkin, trying to fix my mistake and give him some teeth. I worked on this a little bit off camera because it was not okay. And then one of the little other styrofoam pumpkins, I tried to add a little bit of dimension with the gold paint and put it into the little creases or crevices of the pumpkin to give it a little wow. And then the stem on top did not look natural, so I went over that as well. And I didn't do too much to this one either. I just kind of made the dimensions in the pumpkin in the creases. I kind of liked how they were. I did not like that paint that I just did, so I just used a different color and wiped that one off. My oldest said, "Wow, you made those look real." Okay, I don't think you've seen a pumpkin in a while. And back to the witch's cauldron. I wanted to do the brew to make it look like it was bubbling up, so I used circular motions on this green and kind of overlapped it onto the black to make it again look like it was boiling over. It wasn't a real thick paint either, but it didn't take too many layers to get it to look a little less creasy, but it was okay to be a little creasy on this one because again, it's boiling. I didn't want it to look thick. Now that I'm looking at it, it kind of looks like Frankenstein, but it's not supposed to be. Now I'm going in with the black paint again on the ghost and making the ghost face. and my brush had little spare bristles sticking out. I had to fix that and go back in. Again, trying to fix that pumpkin the best that I could do. Now that the ghost is dry, I'm going to put a little ribbon on top because I made it have a pointy head. I was like, it needs a ribbon. I went in with my spider ribbon, my black and white spider ribbon, because it was a black and white glass for the ghost. That one slid around a lot, so it was kind of difficult to make a ribbon, and I was getting a little frustrated with it. And attempt number 3, 4. Finally. And I do believe, going back, that I did purchase this hot glue gun also from Dollar Tree. So it's a very cheap, affordable hot glue gun. And it gets hot, but not scalding hot to completely, burn a hole in your skin. I didn't like the wrap around, so I just did a bow. And it looks like a girl ghost. And I went back to the witch's cauldron, and I picked this witch's hat ribbon. It was green and matched, the witch. And made a ribbon with it. I have to add ribbon to everything. I don't know. It's just a thing I do. Just spreading the ribbon layers to make it look a little thicker. And securing it with, of course, the hot glue. And not in frame. And I felt that gave it the little final touches. I thought it's cute. And now I am going in with this orange and black bat ribbon for the orange pumpkin. I feel like I'm becoming a pro at the ribbon making by now. So it's a little bit faster, not much. I am no professional at making ribbons, so there's that. That's the disclaimer. I wanted to put that at the top of the stem rather than the bottom. But these are my final little projects here, and I think they came out cute. And here is the end result with the candles and the glasses. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know it's a different one with me doing crafts. I enjoyed it. Probably would enjoy it more if I didn't have to film and record, but you do what you have to do. This has been another video with Just Do Cole. Thank you guys for coming along with me, and I hope to see you guys next time. Love ya.